Welcome to Stunt Stories. I'm Corey Eubanks. I am very excited today to have a very dear friend of mine. Very honored to have her on our show. Julie Michaels, thank you so much for agreeing to be on Stunt Stories.
Well, I'm the one that's honored. I have been listening to your podcast and been watching your show for years and years as a true fan, mostly because you bring out the best in people. And I certainly hope I'm able to give you the best today.
Gosh, feeling no pressure on this end at all. I got to dig down deep and pull out some good things from Julie Michaels, which everything is about you. I mean, I have not come across one person who's ever said one negative word about you. And that's rare in this business. People, there's a lot of, as we both know, there's a lot of jealousies, there's a lot of egos, there's a lot of myself included, but every time your name is mentioned, it's always in a positive, uplifting statement. And it's like, you should feel very, very blessed about that.
I do. And I kind of feel like the interview should be over right now.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks for being on the show.
Exactly.
No,
thank you for that. I appreciate it.
And I know that you've done dozens and dozens or maybe more of interviews. And I'm sure you're tired of the same old question, but I have to ask because there's a lot of listeners I'm acquiring that don't know your career. They don't know, they're outside of the stunt industry and they're just learning about some of my friends and some of my peers and what they've done and accomplished. And they don't know that you were in 1989 in the movie Roadhouse. And I'm kind of embarrassed to even ask you about it because I know you get asked that question all the time, but it's just so epic. It's just so you and Patrick Swayze. And could you just kind of briefly tell us what that experience was like?
Well, it was my first major role in a film. I had just moved here from Florida. And when I got cast, it was an arduous but lovely, fun process with casting, putting me through the paces and then a dance audition. And I think the thing that sold it, though, is I had an agent that was really smart. And during the dance audition, he said, you have to do something that wows them. And I was like, okay. And I kept thinking all these great moves. And he's like, no. And he gave me a pen. He goes, I want you to write on the inside of your thigh, property of Joel Silver.
Seriously?
And I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, do it. And I'm like, all right. So I did. And I had a skirt that would kind of lift open. I kicked my leg up on the top of his desk and there it was. And the rest is history.
Oh my gosh. I never, ever heard that part of the story before. Wow. You just floored me. But do you still get recognized? Do people still look at you if you're in a restaurant, nightclub or something and they, oh, that's that?
Occasionally, but usually it's more like, well, do I know you? That kind of. So I usually say, I don't, but hi, my name is Julie. So
they're like, you look familiar.
Yeah, you look really familiar.
So
exactly.
How come someone as beautiful as you who did that big movie, how come you decided, hey, I want to be doing stunts as well? Or did you decide just to shift over and just go, I want to be a stunt woman?
Well, I did Point Break. And in that, I had a really graphic fight scene with Keanu Reeves. In fact, one of the only scenes where I think he got beat.
Wait a minute. Was that in the shower?
Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah.
That was vicious and brutal.
It was Glenn Wilder coordinating, and I knew Glenn from Florida. I had been cast in a different role, and he called me one day and before we started rehearsals, and he said, I want you to switch roles. And I said, switch roles? What? Why would I want to switch roles? Now, remember, I wasn't doing stunts then. I was just acting. And he goes, well, there's this other role. I said, don't even. He goes, Julie, I know you can fight. I won't be able to get a stunt girl double the actress. I need you to do that. I said, there's no way. And he was like, please, honey, you got to do this for me. And I remember getting this pit in the bottom of my stomach. And I loved Glenn so much. I knew him, but never worked for him. And And I couldn't turn it down. I couldn't let him down. So I agreed to do it. And then the rest is history. The New York Times said that I was the babe who nuked Keanu Reeves.
Well, Julie, if my memory doesn't fail me, weren't you naked?
I laughed because the wardrobe department had called me for a wardrobe fitting. And I said, you have read the script, right? What are you fitting me for?
What are you... Yeah, I believe that the vision. You were nude in this fire.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, who takes a shower with their clothes on? Of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my God, I just remember it being so vicious. I'm like, that's a girl you don't want to mess with right there, because you were just.
It actually was a great experience. For me, it was because of Glenn Wilder. I mean, just a legend. And he just had this lovely uptone, and he was always laughing and smiling. And Catherine Bigelow, the bomb. She was the bomb. Right before they blew the shower. Remember, I wasn't a stunt girl. I was just an actress. And right before they blew the shower, she got kind of nervous. And I was like, why is she getting nervous? And then she said, do me a favor, right when we say action, put your hand over your face and turn your face away like you're washing your hair. And I was like, why is she doing that? Again, I wasn't a stunt woman, so I didn't get that she knew it could be possibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the glass absolutely pulverized me.
It was like tempered glass. It was real tempered glass? Was it?
Yeah. Yes. And it got me. It got me good.
Yeah, that stuff can cut you.
So I'm standing there, and you can't put something on you because you don't want to push the glass father in. And Glenn and a couple of the makeup artists that were there were, literally picking glass out of my skin and laughing, which made me laugh, and it lightened the room and everything got better. But, at some point you just got to go, well, it is what it is, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. So
isn't it funny how they call that safety glass, and yet it will cut you. It cuts you all up.
Yeah.
Wow. So, hey, let me test your memory bank here just a little bit. If we dive all the way back, I mean, I remember I see here, I'm looking at your IMDb page, which I really strongly recommend if you're listening. If you guys want to go and check out what Julie Michaels has done, if you go to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, some of her, I know they don't have all of your credits on here because they never really nail them all, but I'm looking at Batman Forever. Back in 1995. What did you do on that movie?
That was the first time I worked for Conrad Palmisano. And I did a bunch of gymnastics, like flipping down a street and some fights and, kind of that thing.
Was that your background? Was it dance or was it gymnastics?
It was gymnastics. I was an NCAA gymnast at the University of Washington.
Wow. I could do a somersault, but that's about it.
Right on.
Trying to impress you. Hey, what did you do on Money Train?
I think I didn't do much. But I did meet Jay Lynch on Money Train.
Oh my gosh.
That was freaking epic. It was like, I think if it wasn't his first gig, it was pretty close to his first gig. If you guys research Jay Lynch, you'll find out he is like one of the number one wheelman, especially motorcycles, but wheelman, and one of the nicest guys on the planet.
Isn't he though? Isn't he?
But he wasn't then. I think he was a little too cocky, and he had to drive this motorcycle through a crowd of us. And I was like, dude, you're getting too close to Jeannie Epper, and I might have to take you out. And then we ended up becoming really good friends. And he's just he's the most all around, really well-loved person. And I'm glad to call him friend.
Me too. We're both very blessed to have him in our lives. And he's expecting a baby.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hey, one of the biggest movies ever at the time, which, we've all have seen it 2 or 3 times. If you haven't, you're lying, is Titanic. Can you tell us anything about what it was like working on Titanic?
Ugh.
Horrible.
Well, let's put it this way. The day we wrapped, we were in Mexico. The day we wrapped, I didn't wait for the bus to take us to the airport. I hitchhiked home. I wanted out of there so bad.
No kidding.
Awful. Yeah, it was awful.
I had heard some horrific stories, and I didn't know if that was true.
Yeah, let's just say I hope never do another stunt performer have to go through what we went through. And I got the least of it. There were so many other people that got really mucked up. And I was lucky to meet Greg Tash on that, who was one of the water safety guys, and became really good friends with him. And we're great friends today. But he was like, those water safety people had their work cut out for them for sure.
Yeah.
And, we were jumping off that boat at 50 or 60 feet in the middle of the night, can't see where you're landing. We earned our money, and we probably should have paid a whole lot more since it was very difficult. Let's put it that way.
I'm sorry. Let's move away from that. You know what? The ship sinks at the end anyway, so it's no good. What about all of the Baywatch episodes you've worked on? You were Pamela Anderson's stunt double, is that correct?
Yes, I was lucky enough to be hired by Chiefy, Greg Barnett.
What a great guy, huh?
I can't even believe that I was lucky enough to work for him all those years. And just he and Barbie too. I mean, his wife really saved me a few different times. So, what a great experience, especially new as a stunt performer. I think the first thing I did is this is a funny story. You're going to love this. I had to jump off the Santa Monica Pier with Diana Lupo. Rest in peace, my sweetheart. And they had me in like 5 or 6 inch stiletto heels and a mini skirt and a tube top. And there was it's the railing there. So you have to alley-oop over and military entry in, right feet first. And I remember Chief was saying, well, as soon as you go in, get right to the top and act like you're drowning and people are going to come and save you. And I was like, okay, great. So I had never met Diana before. And we were like, look, let's do this tandem. Let's make it look clean. And we were talking about and sure enough, and she was the greatest athlete I've ever seen in my life. We alley-ooped, and as we alley-ooped, I kicked off my heels, those 6 inch heels, right? And I looked over, and we were side by side, tandem, just perfect. I was thinking, this is going to rock. And we military entry in, and the thing I didn't think about is tube tops and mini skirts don't stay on when you go military entry in.
I was
now, the pier's
wondering
filled with kids, so I'm thinking, I'm underwater, staying underwater because I'm just trying to get the clothes back on. And finally, the water safety is trying to pull me up. I'm like, knock it off. I don't want to do this. The kids are up there. So, so that was the beginning of my Baywatch days.
Oh my gosh. So you continued to double Pamela, I believe, and going into VIP.
Yep. I doubled on VIP. I did commercials for her. I love her. I do. She was very, 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 very good to me.
I got to, I was fortunate enough to
didn't you direct one?
Yes, to direct one episode that unfortunately was the episode that she and, oh my gosh, who I'm forgetting his name, the drummer. Tommy Lee. She and Tommy Lee were trying to get back together, and they were in the trailer, her trailer, and the trailer was rocking and a rolling. And I remember Morgan Gindel, the executive producer, comes up to me and he's like, "Why aren't you filming? Why aren't you shooting?" And I said, "Well, I'm waiting for your lead actress to get done in the trailer so she could come." I go, you could go knock on the door if you want. I'm not going to. So
don't you hear? Don't you go knocking when the trailers are rocking?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
I'm like, this will be done in 15, 20 minutes, or who knows, maybe more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey, in addition to all of the phenomenal things you've done in your career, I see you have 6 awards that you've won, 4 nominations, the Daytime Emmy Award, an Action Icon Award. You have accomplished so much in your career. I mean, gosh darn it, I want to be you. Not just because you're beautiful. I just look at all the things that you've accomplished in your career. You must be very proud.
I am, but I still feel like I'm just trying to prove myself. I still feel like I have to give it all every day, and every time, and not just sit back on my laurels. I think I think you and I are a lot alike. We take a lot of pride in our work, and we take a lot of pride in what we do, and we never take anything for granted. Never.
That's so true. And this business can so humble you so quickly. And, you know, hey, I need to give a big thank you to you because, you know, as you know, we've both been doing this a long time, and what happens so often is out of sight, out of mind. And I thought, you know what? I haven't put out a photo of myself to the industry in a long time, and all of a sudden I see this thing that you have created that is what is it? Stunt access or action access? What do you call it?
Stunt access. Just like actors access, only for stunt people and stunt people who act. Stunt access.
Stunt access. So I go on to Stunt Access and I join. And this was last Thursday, I think, or Friday. Anyway, I get a call, Chad Dashnaw, to go work on Walker, Texas Ranger because he saw my photo. Had to have seen it on what did you call it again?
Stunt Access.
How come I can't remember? Stunt Access. I even went to the website.
That's okay, I'll drill you. It's okay.
Yeah, Stunt Access. And I'm like, it paid off. It paid. I mean, I get on Stunt Access, and then 3 days later, I'm now going to be traveling to Austin, Texas to work on Walker, Texas Ranger. So
what's nice about this site, and it works fast. And that's the whole idea, is you get direct to the stunt coordinator or to the director or to the casting. We have a casting site where our casting directors, who I've been working with for years and years and years, to develop the idea that stunt actors really solve all the problems. You get an actor who can really act, and he can also do the action. You know, the audience is smart. They know when you're going to double somebody. They know it. But if you don't have to do it, you don't pay 2 people, you don't wardrobe 2 people, you don't feed 2 people, and you don't health and pension 2 people, and you get a better shot. So I've been working with this for almost 20 years. And finally, the casting directors are going, wow, this is a really great idea. And the nice part about this, all you casting directors that are listening, you get to post for free. Absolutely for free. And then once you post, you can have those submissions to your stunt coordinator, and they can then look over them and decide who can physically do the physicality better. And it's the same for directors. They can look for stunt coordinators on there, and you can post right to that director or that production. Stuff from all over the world, worldwide, and it's in real time. So the minute it posts, you can submit immediately.
Well, I'm living proof that it works because, like I said, I've never worked for Chad Dashnaw. I don't know how, you know, he had to have gone through Stunt Access to see my photo on there and said, hey, I think you're going to make a good double for this. So number one, thank you for putting that together for all of us. And those who are listening, if you're in the stunt profession, I highly recommend Stunt Access because it slam dunk. It worked for me. Because and
like that slam dunk. Yeah.
And so true, Julie, as you know, sometimes out of sight, out of mind. If people don't see you, if you're not a very strong networker, right, they think, oh, you're off on some movie, or you're gone out of the country. And so it's a good tool. And thank you for creating that. That was genius.
Well, I think it's got great potential to help the industry on both sides. It's going to streamline it. And you know, as a coordinator, how hard it is to be able to find talent and how many hours and hours and hours you go. Well, what happens here is that you just post what you need, or you can just call us and we'll post it for you. You can call in the middle of the night. We're 24/7. We'll post what you need. And then at your leisure, you just go through your emails and go, oh, look at all these submissions. Oh, I just did 2 turnovers on set, and I can go back and now I've got all my people for next week. And all you had to do was check your email.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow, it's a great tool. It really is.
Thank you. We're super excited about it.
So am I, because now I'm going to Austin, Texas, thanks to you. So it was, like I said, it was a great tool, I strongly recommend it. Anybody out there, you know, Stunt Access, you should just type in stuntaccess.com, correct?
Correct. That's it. Simple.
Okay. Hey, what did you do on Nashville? I went and worked for you guys on that. I went back to Nashville, did a car chase and had a blast.
Yeah.
Do you have any fun stories?
I first of all, I love Nashville itself. It's It's my kind of town. I really, really love it. But the first time I went there, I have to tell you, I went, Broadway, that's it? That's all? That's it?
Yeah.
It's a really small town. You think Nashville's got to be big, right? Yeah, so I coordinated the show along with my husband, and it was brilliant. It was fun, and it was some of the greatest producers ever. So, and we love country western music.
So do I.
Right.
You know, my father was actually very heavily into it. He had a company called Concert Express, and he would produce about 160 concerts a year. And and he managed Merle Haggard for 9 years.
Really?
Yes. Wow. So he's got some really great stories about that. Hey, let me ask you something. What are your feelings? Because you and I are kind of old school, but mixed in with the new school. I wanted to get your opinion on why, or do you feel it's a good idea they do try to get it or they don't? And I'm talking about a category for stunt performers for the Oscars. What are your feelings about that?
Well, I've been marching alongside Jack Gill for several years now, and we've had several meetings there over at the Academy, and multiple rallies for it, and it's going to happen. I just don't know when. It's kind of one of those things that we're not going to give up. We're not going to stop. It's really important because the artisticness of most films is generally supplemented by the stunts. And one of the things that we continually say is, when you advertise or you show different films at the Academy Awards, you always see the action. So you're using our stuff to promote you and the award, but we're not good enough to stand beside you guys. And they talk about diversity. And when I went in to speak to the president, one of the things I said was, I have multiple nominations as a female stunt coordinator and one in drama, which is extremely hard to get, extremely hard. But I have a career because of the Academy, the television Academy, because they take that very seriously for women. And you're shutting the doors to women if you're not accepting them, like you say, you're accepted of all. So we continually are going to push forward calmly and respectfully, of course, with all ethics until the day comes. And then it's going to be amazing because the viewership for the Academy Awards will be phenomenal because the biggest fans in the world, and you fans know it, are the action fans.
Yes. Yes. And look at Mad Max. Every award it won, to back up what you were saying, they showed clips of all of the stunt performers.
Yep. It's always the breath that comes out of your body is initiated by the stunts.
Gosh, I've never heard that. That sounded kind of sexy.
Hey, well, that's what stunts is, sexy.
Yeah.
It is, because it's scary. It's violent, can be strong, but at the end, it's always satisfying.
The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which is very obvious to those who've been in the business for a while, when you compare a stunt man with a stunt woman and what typically you are asked to do, a nude fight scene in a bathroom with tempered glass, as an example, the clothing that typically women are wearing don't really accommodate hiding padding. And it just seems so much more difficult and much more at risk based on the wardrobe. And you as a stunt coordinator, you see that even from standing across the street watching your performers do their thing. Wouldn't you agree that it's actually physically a lot more dangerous for a stunt woman than it is for a stunt man?
Well, Ginger Rogers said it best. She said, well, I do it backwards and in heels.
Gosh. Yeah. Who can...
It's just as simple as that. I remember there was one day when my husband and I both were on a set, and I said, well, how many times did you open your pad bag today? He goes, I don't know, 3 times. I said, I haven't opened my pad bag in 3 years.
Oh, shoot. It's so unfair. I'm giggling, but it really is. It's so unfair. It's like just because of the wardrobe. You
No,
got dresses.
I don't think it's unfair because it and us girls, we're tough, we're hardy, we make babies.
Yeah, you make
birth
people.
babies.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unfair at all. The only time it becomes unfair is when the adjustments aren't really looked at accurately. Like you have a guy and he's in a full suit and like you say, he's fully padded, and I'm going to do the same stair fall as him, like I did in what was it called, Las Vegas. I can't remember the name of the series. I did a stair fall in a mini skirt and high heels in an escalator with 38 stairs.
No, a real escalator?
A real escalator. 38 steps.
Wow.
And the thing is
Ouch.
that luckily that was for Conrad Palmisano, and he took good care of me.
Yeah, he knows. He
knows.
He's a smart man.
He's one of my mentors, and he and Wally Rose did a lot for me. And I think Conrad actually was the first person outside of my husband that said, "You should be a coordinator." I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "No." And one of the reasons that sounded and resounded to me is because I was a gymnastic coach. I love to coach. When my stunt performers come on set, I tell all these guys are the superstars. I want you to make them feel that and realize that, because people who feel good about what they're doing and are paid well don't get hurt.
There's a lot of truth to that. Yes. I'm glad you see it that way. Is there, in your career, is there anything on your bucket list that you have not done that you wished throughout your career you could have had the opportunity to do?
Well, I just finished writing Roadhouse 2, so the bucket list would be to get that up on its legs and put that on the screen.
Wow. A feature film?
Yep.
Wow. How do you, I'm not going to pry because I don't want you to give out any of your story ideas, but wow, I wish you all the luck and success with that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
It'd be nice to have, the cast come back, that can come back, and then pay really great tribute and homage to those cast members. And we've lost several, in the same breath, be able to give them spirit too. That
would be beautiful. Hey, Julie, I knew I was going to enjoy having you on Stunt Stories, and I know you're extremely busy, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk with me. It means a lot. Thank you.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. Always honored to be in your presence and have you on our sets. And thank you for T-boning my son and giving him his first turnover.
That's right. Remember that?
Yep.
That was a great day. Oh,
do you remember what I told you on take 2?
No. What did you say?
Hit him.
Is that what you did?
And don't be scared.
And that's when I flipped over the ambulance, right? I hit him.
That's your son. I'm like, yeah, he's a big boy. Hit him.
Take him out. Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
fun day.
Julie, by the way, it's called StuntAccess.com.
Yep, StuntAccess.com. Come join us. If you're production or casting, it's free. If you're a stunt coordinator, it's free. And all the rest of you all, it's $160 a day to get direct contact with the biggest people in the industry worldwide. That's awesome. And it works. I'm going to go to Austin because of Stunt Access. So thank you so much. Yay. You're so welcome, and thank you. And thank you to your fans. Please continue to listen to this podcast. It's not only fun and inviting and interesting, but you'll learn a lot. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you more than you know. And everyone, thanks for listening to Stunt Stories. Bye-bye.